Yeah, I saw that, and it annoyed me a bit because Conor Gallagher, who was at Chelsea, a youngish player then, going back, got to be 5 years, 6 years, and he came to Palace on a season's loan, and we, the fans at Palace, loved him. He was Mr. Energy. I mean, he closed down the goalkeeper when the goalkeeper had the ball, and he was all over the place. But I mean, he's not the most, if you like, skillful player, but he's got a big heart. He runs his legs off, and he is a good player. He can score goals, plays in the midfield. And in fact, he went from Chelsea when I think he wasn't in Maresco's plans, or maybe the previous manager now.
Mm.
Um, he went to Atletico Madrid, where I think he still is. But I think I've heard a few times that he's likely to be coming back to the Premier League. And until a month or so ago, there were quite a few rumours that he was going to come to Palace because he was on loan with us before, so we know the player. But to actually buy him, and most people were of my view, I spoke to, it'd be a great acquisition to have back because he's a good midfield player, and he links defence to attack, etc., etc. And then I read the other day that it's likely he's going to Tottenham. So I was quite disappointed about that. But he's a good footballer.
All
I
right.
should think he's only probably 24, 25. So he's got some years ahead of him, all being well. But yeah, it looks like he's going to Spurs.
That's a good yeah, that's a good age for for him
Yeah.
to be at this point for transfers and all that. Now Barcelona won Super Copa, and we know what's his name, Rashford is still there.
Yeah.
But I don't think he played. I think he was on the bench. I think. Now he's do we know what's happening with his contract? Do we know?
No, I think the end of last season, I think even early this season, I thought he was settled quite well at Barcelona. He was getting plaudits for his performances. He seemed to have come back to what he used to be at Manchester United. So I don't know what's happened because I think the last thing I saw about it a few weeks ago was that he was unlikely to stay at Barcelona because they didn't see him in their future plans. So again, we only read what is said to the press. We don't really know.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen to him.
No.
Um, I don't know whether he would want to come back to the Premier League. I guess if he was offered the right club and the right money, he possibly would. But I always have a feeling that his stock, if you like, is not as high as it could be, but for some of his own behaviour, mixing politics, for example, very well meaning, we all know that, but with his football, perhaps taking his eye off the ball almost
Hmm.
literally and allowing distractions to come into his game. And, do we ever change? Do people ever change? Do any of us change what we fundamentally are? Maybe he's always had that thing that he wants other interests on top of his life in football. I don't know. I'm just
Hmm.
speculating. But it did surprise me because he did seem to settle and was highly rated at Barcelona, only to find then that it seems they don't particularly want to keep him.
No.
So it'll be interesting to see what does happen because
I mean,
ultimately he's a good footballer. I mean, he does tend to get picked by Tuchel for England, and so that is to his credit on his CV, of course, that he's still an international. Of course, that he's still an international,
of course,
but
yeah.
maybe clubs are wary. I don't know. I would have thought something might have happened in the Premier League with him now if it was going to happen, because we're now halfway. Well, yeah, we are halfway through the month, pretty much, aren't we? So yeah, I don't know anything else apart from what I've said.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to stay at Barcelona because it's just I look at him and all due respect to Rashford, we love him, but I looked at it and I thought Barcelona, it's a bit too high stakes for him.
Yeah.
Spanish football mostly mostly. I mean, if Barcelona was going to buy somebody, they would probably buy someone like Yamil, of that age
Mm.
anyway. Some days that's just coming up. So I thought, how long will it last? And then when we thought it settled, I thought, oh, good for him. But yeah, I don't. We don't know. We don't know anything. We don't know what's going to happen with him now. Right. So, Liverpool. They won Barnsley yesterday. Was it yesterday they played?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think it was yesterday. Yeah. So they won Barnsley
Monday,
for
it's
what?
Monday night, I think,
One
wasn't it?
was it
Monday.
Monday? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They won Barnsley, didn't they? Now,
Yeah.
do we think? I mean, I've asked this question before, and the answer, it keeps looking like a yes. Do we think they're out of the woods yet? Eh, eh, you know.
Well, you probably can't measure that against Barnsley, with all due respect to Barnsley. I
Mm.
mean, they won, I think it was 4-1, wasn't it? The result.
Yeah.
So, but also, recent results have suggested that they are, shall we say, back on track. I don't think they're going to win the league. They've lost too many games this season. They had a terrible run, didn't they? Of like 9 or 10, 11 games without a victory. And many of those were losses as well.
Mm.
And maybe it hinges back to relations. We talked earlier about Slot's relations with his players. I get the feeling now that he's back on side, so to speak. So yeah, it's difficult to say, isn't it? Are they back to what? Well, what they're being measured against is their performance last season, where they
Mm.
won the Premier League, and they
Mm.
won it with quite a few games to spare. And
Mm.
then they seem to sort of go down to the beach because they did lose two or
Mm.
three games towards the end, I think.
Mm.
But so that may have had more relevance than we've ever given it credit for. The fact that the end of their season became a bit unsuccessful compared to